Okay, wow, what a wild year of innovation for the forces. In 2022, Canada exploded on the world stage, and even set their aspirations higher with the development of their own Space Force. Did any of it add up to notable change, or is it just more of the same? Hello and welcome to Frontline. To start, what are our troops doing? Canada deployed about 3,000 personnel around the globe in some fashion, so we got a lot done. Here's just a few highlights. 1,000 Canadians were deployed on a little operation called Reassurance, and so this ongoing operation can claim to be one of Canada's largest. This is taking place over Central and Eastern Europe with the goal of reinforcing NATO's collective defense. Throughout these skies, CP-140 Aurora long-range patrol aircraft carried out surveillance operations, while an air task force group had a sweet deployment to Romania. 6 CF-18 Hornet fighters and their ground personnel contributed to the air policing capabilities of the Romanian Air Force. They probably saw some castles too. Hey, Dracula. Just about every Canadian naval vessel got wet last year. From June to November, HMCS Kingston and Summerside were in Northern Europe with NATO's Mine Countermeasures Group. Here they conducted training, exercise, demonstrations, and any NATO task that was asked of it. In December, HMCS Vancouver and Winnipeg returned to their home port of Esquimalt after conducting naval presence operations in the Indo-Pacific region. Our battle group in Latvia was also working hard, bumped to about 700 troops after the attachment of a battery of M777 guns, which also included their forward observers and an electronic warfare group. This is Canada's direct response to address the Putin in the room. We had the Canadian commander in Latvia go so far as to use a few harsh words joined together in a sentence when he stated that Russian troops would be routed if they dared to attack the troops stationed there. Now we're also going to give special award to nearby Task Force Poland. Since the Russian invasion of Ukraine, thousands of refugees have been received in the home of the delicious pierogi. Task Force Poland was created as Canada's contribution to those fleeing the destruction of their home. For nearly 4 months, CAF support included manning reception centers, providing translators and chaplains, as well as medical support to over 2,700 patients. Nice job, people. In 2015, Canada began its mission to train the Ukrainian military. Today, as Ukraine fights for their freedom, we can see the immense result that Canada and NATO have contributed by the estimates of Russian casualties. CAF men and women can boast their achievement of training 34,000 Ukrainian troops in battlefield tactics and a number of advanced military skills. These training programs have resumed since the invasion began, and Canada is working to assist in the United Kingdom's efforts, as well as in Poland, where we are instructing Ukrainian combat engineers. We have recently extended this mission until 2025, and going forward, I would expect Canada to be a key player in this region. Once more, we put 850 CAF members in the sandbox in support of Operation Impact. These troops work to train, advise, and assist Canada's mission to wipe out the Islamic State and further contribute to stabilization efforts in the Middle East. These men and women continue to provide their expertise, intelligence, and leadership in Iraq, Jordan, and Lebanon to meet this end. In September, the mission's Tactical Airlift Detachment, which includes 2 CC-130J transport aircraft, moved their main base of operations from dusty Kuwait to the rolling hills of Glasgow in Scotland. I'm sure this change was great for the morale of the Air Force. The hotels are much better in Glasgow. This also reflects how Europe, and specifically Ukraine, is now our center of attention. And this new focus comes with a few sweet benefits, namely a sum of nearly $3.5 billion, which has been promised or since committed to Ukraine. A majority of this will provide items such as ammunition, armor, and winter supplies, while a smaller portion will aid in humanitarian response efforts and immigration measures. So, Canada's involvement around the globe appears to be on the rise, but how does that compare to efforts back at home? Through 21-22, Canada spent just shy of 1.4% of its GDP on defense, still considerably off from the promise to meet NATO's target of spending 2% towards the military. Don't lose heart, they are on the right track. Since 2014, Canada has had a 67% jump in defense spending. Most of this is spent on its people. So how are they doing? Canadian military leaders are claiming they are now in a workforce crisis, and the plan to get back on the right track could take as long as 11 years. That's one hell of a long time to be short-staffed. Current effective troop strength is sitting in the range of 62,000 active troops, with an additional 27,000 in the reserve force. According to the trends, new recruits are not joining fast enough, and current members are leaving at an accelerated rate.
That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angry.
Attrition has risen to 9.3%, up from 6.9% in 2021. In order to face this challenge, military leadership has acted to make a great deal of changes. A few of the CAF's latest solutions to hold on to these troops include updating outdated financial benefits and no longer charging new privates ration and quarters until they complete their basic trade course. That's great news because they are poor. Oh, and leave extra time to get ready for that next dinner party, as dress and hairstyles are moving away from their previous gender focus, and you can now be yourself with colored hair, or by rocking a stupendous facial mane or previously unthinkable piercings while in uniform. The CAF is also directing a lot of this energy into a new military ethos, trusted to serve, which will build upon our previous ethos of duty with honor. This will describe who the Canadian Armed Forces are as a profession, and present the guiding moral principles going forward. You better believe this focus will complement the recent recommendations from the Arbor Report, which dropped over the summer. This was an extensive review of CAF culture, organizational systems, and misconduct. Give it a read. We also had a few reasons to both celebrate and mourn this past year. Canada has established its first space division, and I think it's time for you to consider a retrade. Responsible for delivering communications, surveillance, and support, the 3rd Canadian Space Division reached operational capability. Right now it's only 180 people with a twinkle in their eye, but tomorrow?
What's that?
Who knows? Additionally, the Canadian Rangers commemorated their 75th anniversary of protecting our northern borders, doing a job that most of us, well, just would perish at attempting. Also, I hear the Wi-Fi is bad. Of course, we also lost Her Majesty the Queen. Acting as the Canadian Armed Forces Commander-in-Chief, Queen Elizabeth II reigned for 70 years, which is quite the achievement. Now, each topic we have covered is expansive, but much like an NCO counting down their days until retirement, we have decided to do only the bare minimum of work here. Look out for other in-depth videos on the way. So it's clear that operating a comparatively smaller military at this higher tempo doesn't come without its own problems. I see this remodeling as an attempt to prioritize the modernization of the forces while displaying attention toward their own troops, slowly as that progress might be. In my overall opinion, the CAF is adapted well to the present-day image that is expected by its country and people. I hope they also continue to listen to their own members while they create this wide-scale change across the organization. Here's a few videos we have done covering various aspects of the military and what we do here at Frontline. Thanks for watching.